We are good. Alrighty, how's everybody doing? Today we're going to be doing more economic stuff. So, just bear with me here. Let me close out all my Facebook crap. So we're here. Fix this out. Man, I'm really surprised Google doesn't have a default setting. Hey there, can you see chat? Or is it just me having trouble? I can see chat. Yeah, like why isn't dark mode a thing natively on Google Sheets? There must be. Hello from your St. Catherine's family. Hey. Google Sheets doesn't support dark theme. You could try using the auto dark theme for web content extensions. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just use the plugin. Just I find Dark Reader slows down Excel. I don't know why. And it's also really hard to theme. But I find this is like too dark. Make some. So this is what we're working on. Turn my music down. So this is the economy system. So every one of these NPCs are moving cargo from point A to point B. And up here, let's go to the gas giant. We have these little, there we go. So there's some hydrogen gas. And we have these gas mining ships that are taking all of this hydrogen gas. If I can get one of them on the return here. There we go. So he has like 10 units. He's bringing it over to the refinery. And if I click on the refinery here, you can see it slowly building up all of that hydrogen gas and converting it over into hydrogen fuel. So the, what this simulation will be is a test of the economy and how the economy works in the game as like a standalone kind of project. And there's a few bugs and things I want to actually add to this today, because this is meant to be like a tool, for ourselves to be able to run different simulation speeds and kind of, this isn't working out, or this is running too slow, or, I can pause it at any point. Maybe there's too many pirates, or, maybe there's too many gas miners. Like, there's always 1,000 NPCs, and as they get destroyed, they're born randomly with different types depending on the system's need. So in the beginning, there's just 1,000 trading ships, but we don't really, we need resources, not goods. So it kind of slowly, quickly shifts to, you know, collecting gas and collecting ore. How's it going, Mungalo? And I want to make sure that it's stable and work on like a bit of a graphing kind of system. There's a few things I want to make, right? But I want to finish this. I don't know why, like, animating a bar appearing on the left is very annoying. Grayson says hi to you. Awesome. Yeah, has the boy seen a lot of the actual like chips and stuff like that? Economic stuff's not so exciting. I mean, I think it's pretty exciting, but I mean, yeah, I need to get the name of the thing that we're actually. Yeah, those IDs are supposed to be goods. Yeah, actually, that's fine. We'll use that same model. For ice, let's just use an albedo color of something bluish. A bit more. Yeah, something like that. I'll make it a bit shiny. Because I don't really performance-wise don't care if it has an alpha. And we'll copy that. So let's just say there's 2,500 units of ice in an ice asteroid. And then on a standard refinery, we'll do ice as well. So we'll add another refinement resource, and we'll say we also want to do ice converted into water. Ice into water. Yep, so they're randomly spawning. Some of them are getting ice, some of them are getting ore. So there should be both now being converted. Alright, so it should be ice, but it should be ore being refined, raw ore being refined into refined metal. And there should be ice now being refined into water. And when there's nothing left, so we need them to not go after it. So it doesn't know like what the ship's like. You know, a mining ship needs to go find specific minerals. So it doesn't really know that there is minerals there. So they're not really giving up. They're just kind of spawning and being like, oh, I need to go find some minerals because there's a ore volume there. But I could have them in advance check and see if there is one to go there. The raw ore. Well, we start in a small solar system effectively, then build up resources and explore out further from there? Or is this aspect more of money-making resource engine? So this is more of the money-making resource engine. The idea is still like first-person space game. What you're seeing here is what's here will be a headless version of kind of like what's happening when you get to a certain station. So, you know, like the simulation is going around and mining ore and bringing it back, you know, to a refinery, and we're seeing the inventory of that refinery. But when you, the player, go there, like in game, like in the regular game, you know, when we're going up to the cargo testing. Did I move my font when I was playing around with this last night? Assets fonts. Maybe I did. 1 second. Yeah, I think I did. Let me fix that real quick. Fonts. Oh yeah, I did move it. Whoops. Oopsie. Yeah, that's gonna probably require a whole reload. Yeah, so I think it's cargo testing here. Still kind of showcase how this is gonna go. So when we're actually in the game and we're like buying and selling cargo, so when we go up here and we actually see like, oh, I can buy gas and it's spawning in. and we can take the gas and we can like put it on our ship. I want the simulation of where like where all these commodities are coming from that we're buying and selling to be actually somewhere. So here's like the cargo line. So that way, like, we don't know right now. I have the price of processed foods, metals, gases. I'm just spawning in. They're all the same box, you know, right now. But in the future, or in the very near soon, like I want every single trade terminal to be showing the inventory of the station, and it's the economy system that's simulating that in the background. So that way, like, it's, you know, a lot more dynamic and a lot more interesting. And that way, if you do go to a pirate station in the game, all the goods that you're seeing there are stuff that was actually received through actual salvage claims or through piracy. So, like, you know, pirates or NPCs are being created, and they're doing normal cargo routes, and they're kind of doing stuff in the background. And then you, the player, yeah, it'll be a trade system. Right, and there's more to it. There'll be more to it as well. There'll be some, you know, I'm going to look into some kind of similar to No Man's Sky, like a little bit of basic farming type stuff. But it'll be like way future. I might do a player basis system, but it'll be like later on DLC type thing. I'll build some of the stuff. You could be a pirate. You can totally be a pirate. Right, so you know, a lot of this has been fundamentally working for a long time, where we could just buy cargo and put it on the ship and sell it. But I wanted to actually like build a test environment where you can actually add all the commodities that the game is going to use and really define, like, you know, the final commodity list. Like, hey, this is what we're going to go with for now. Things can change, things can be deleted, you know. We don't want a lot of them, you know, like we just, or too much variation, some drug running, like a little bit, something we can use as a illegal, you know, like I'm just going to call it space weed, but right, something that's a bit more profitable but illegal, just a few of every type of commodity, just for the purpose of locking in like what assets I need to create for them, and just kind of getting it working. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Because otherwise it's hard to test it, you know what I mean? It's hard, like I can say, you know, because missions and all that kind of stuff too, like I want to be able to get those working where we can accept you know, because then I know what I need to be spawning. So even for like pickup missions, for like deliveries, like what's actually, what are we delivering here? You know, they're all random commodities, but what are they? What's their significance? Are we bringing metals, or are we just bringing consumer goods? Maybe my free look is not actually working. Are we making video games? No, we're making spreadsheets. Making spreadsheets. We don't do video games around here, just spreadsheets. We're just making spreadsheets, man. The right ore will be a mineral. Everything's at a base price of 1 right now because we can balance it. And a weight of 1 unit, of whatever the unit is. Refined ore. Really gonna be just metals. Why it doesn't like get rid of the white spaces when you're like auto formatting an insert in the website? Yeah, mostly for the mechanics. Reverse the raw gas into manageable quantities, onboard tanks, separation using crowd and still spirits from filters. Yeah, no, I do like that. Yeah, their own copy method sucks. Holds hydrogen fuel. Alright, so we have water being refined, ore being refined. Stations themselves are going to need hydrogen, so they're going to need a specific amount. I'll need to see what a station requires. Like, what? So, one station. So we're gonna need power. I'm just kind of just bring it, so this will be like solar arrays, which are installed. They're gonna need hydrogen fuel regardless, because you're gonna need it to refuel other ships. And oxygen. Massive oxygen tanks. And what would be the best way? Yeah, because it'd probably be like liquid oxygen as a commodity. And then what are we looking at for refinement? of oxygen itself. Well, yeah, I like some of these ideas need to actually just copy. This is great. Where's the main? I'm gonna save all these notes. So solar panels, a life support, food. So recycling systems for water and wastewater. So we can get water from ice, but we need air. Right, economics activities for revenue streams. So station must generate income to sustain operations to achieve profitability if privately funded. Pharmaceutical, material science, zero gravity experiments. These are interesting ideas, but they don't make sense for the game. Partnerships with governments, universities, or private companies. Gas harvesting is kind of already going to be a thing. Asteroid mining for rare minerals, such as water, ice, or other resources. That's pretty much already established. Space tourism, luxury commodities, short-term stays and EV experiences. Orbital depot, access refueling, repair hubs, manufacturing. We'll just say like commodities. Just to see if I haven't covered something. Right, oxygen, water, food. I think we'll just do a generic food commodity for testing right now, just economic food. We're just buying and selling, like it'd be rations or something. just to get the initial kind of demand, and we'll have a production of it kind of off-world. We'll have a farm that just creates food. Carbon dioxide scrubbers, materials like lithium hydroxide or renewable systems to remove CO2 from the air. And I've never thought about that as far as like for circulation. And nitrogen is used to maintain atmospheric pressure as a part of the breathable air mixture. So we'll need pure CO2, but also nitrogen. Whenever powering station systems, we could use hydrogen and oxygen for fuel cells, for backup energy production, or for propulsion systems. Helium-3 is hypothetically used for fusion reactors, which would be like future technology. Now, I don't know about helium-3. What would be like a... Yeah, it could be used as a power plant fuel. That could be the explanation. So from metals, structural maintenance and commodities. Metals such as aluminum, titanium, and other alloys for repairing hull. Structural reinforcement. Polymers for seals, insulation, replacing weird parts, electronics and part circuits. Electronics and spare parts, circuit boards. I like the idea of just putting electronics under their own, because it's something we can buy and sell. Yeah, so like circuit board, logic, processors, robotic components, radiation shielding material, water, polymer, polyurethane, specialized alloys protecting against cosmic rays. Yeah, so we'll need liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Methane for newer rocket systems. Raw minerals for 3D printing and manufacturing parts on board. Volatiles, harvestable from asteroids and planets like ammonia for nitrogen. Methane, water, ice. Trading with other stations, planets, and ships, refine hydrogen or helium. Key resources for fuel and energy systems. And helium. Waste for sure as a byproduct that needs to be offloaded. Recycled materials could be, yeah. So I need food. So let's say that's going to be like a surface. This planet, I think I put in different planet materials. This planet. There's a Neptune, Mars, Earth-like, Mars, We could use the Mars one. Throw this planet. Let's give it Mars. These are going to be farms, so it'll be a type of outpost. So like outposts also are going to be like stations. So they'll actually need an inventory, very similar to pretty much a production consumption system. So we'll say that an outpost will copy a gas volumes code for the time being as a part of a generic outpost system. We'll make sure we're registering itself. And so these, for now, we're going to make them all the same. So we'll say that an outpost, and also the NPCs are just going to be flying through the thing. That's fine. So we're going to say food is going to be produced at these outposts. And this will be a food. Hey, Kanu. Is it Kanuki? Kanuki. Nope, I'm gonna butcher it. How do you pronounce your name? We'll call you Tanu. How's it going, Tanu? Or am I making a game? Yep, I'm making a space game. And right now we're working on some economics for it. So here, just as an example. So every one of these are trading chips. And they're moving goods from like place to place. So we have hydrogen gas pretty much forming in little clusters. So there's like 1,500 right now as a test. And then every one of these, you know, NPC ships that are being created. So these are all gas mining ships. So the ones that are hitting there have an empty inventory, but the ones that are returning, we'll just let them pick it up. So you can see, so the stream coming back, each one of these returning. Yeah, let's give them a second. There we go. So they're coming back with 10 units of hydrogen, and all this hydrogen is going back here to this refinery, and it's being converted into hydrogen fuel. And then simultaneously, right, we have some raw ore being collected. We have some ice, which is being converted over to water. Science, right? So here we have the refinery. And the refinery is like converting ice to water, ore to refined ore. And, you know, the idea is to create a perfectly balanced kind of fish tank right? For every gas mine, there can only be 1,000 ships, right? So as there's more of a demand for certain things, more ships of different types pretty much get spawned in to kind of meet those demands. And the idea is each station has a contract system where, right now, just because NPCs need to do something, they're kind of picking a random place to go, or they're picking a random target of something to do. But every time an NPC reaches a station, if there's contracts there, it won't do a random thing. It'll accept that contract to go get X amount of units of something, or to do, something. So like pirates, if you can find some, there's a pirate station over here. And there should be flying around here. Right? These are security ships that are going after pirates. Pirates are going after random traders, taking their cargo. And we have our little salvage ships, and the little salvage ships are actually just any ships that are dead. The salvage ships are going and collecting them and bringing their cargo back to the nearest station. So the salvage ships are kind of like cleanup. They're cleaning up any of the dead ships. And then new ships are spawning in, so there's always a balance. Right, so we have salvage, cargo, and this is the background simulation of the game. Right, so the game itself is a space game. It's a first person. Right, so we have you, the players, multiplayer. Alright, so you're buying and selling cargo. Putting it on your ship so you can spawn in cargo, grab the cargo, put the cargo on your ship, and you're just bringing it from place to place, buying and selling it, trying not to be pirated, right? Or doing like delivery missions, right? You can do like, pick up and drop off missions, right? But all of the economic stuff, right? So you can go and like, purchase another ship, spawn the ship in. Oh, ignore the NPC ship. Oops, there's my ship. I'm lazy. I'm gonna take the buggy over. Right, so you're just buying and selling cargo and bringing it from. Can you can the ship speak? Yeah, absolutely. And you can be a pirate, Right, so you have the whole universe at your kind of disposal. Right, which is a big sandbox, but multiplayer sandbox. Gonna go down a planet. So that's like the idea, right? In like gray box form, you have your ship, you can upgrade all the components, you can, pretty much swap out all the gear, and you're just in the universe, doing trading, smuggling, trying to get by, pretty much. Right, but all the components and everything are modular. But you actually have to attach all the components on your ship. Right, everything can be bought and sold, so you can buy components and sell them individually, or you can just do bulk. That's why I need to kind of figure out the base commodities, because there's also a production pipeline. So it's I need to figure out what are these made out of, and make sure that there's something that can be bought and sold as well. And even if it's base commodities, if it just takes computer parts and metals and you know, something else to make a unit of, you know, whatever the dependencies are of making a quantum drive, then at least like there has to be something going to those stations that are producing them. You can build your own chips. You can't, like, they're limited in like the way that they're designed. Excuse me. Tractor beam. We Oh my god, I heard the gravity is so weak. Right, so we have like 0G. Yeah, you can customize all of your own ships. You just can't change like the external hull. Like you can create, there's different variations of them. See, everything's like 0G. Whee. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea now. So just get, I need to nail the breakdown of things. So it's just a bit more design work that needs to be done. Especially for more of a vertical slice, so you can like bring your ship in and take off all the parts and customize it. But I need to finish the panels that are in the bottom, and there's a lot of stuff right now. It sucks because I can't really showcase it because I'm redoing all of the physical inventory. Yep, you can repair the ships and you can salvage the ships. Yeah, what I'm working on now, why everything is kind of broken, is all the NPCs and players have their inventory system being redone. So in the new inventory system, like I can actually go and physicalize like any items, and like, you know, there they are. And if I bring up my inventory here, I can actually interact with any of these and like loot them. So they can become physical to virtual. And then I can also like just take them and like spawn them into the world, right? So, and this has to work for multiplayer. So just changing, you know, before I just had like a predefined set on all the players. So each player had their own, that's all good. Like, you know, but now I need to make it so like, you know, I can actually go and lose. Like I can actually take my rifle and drop them all on the ground. And now I don't have a rifle. You know what I mean? I have to literally loot them, equip them, so that I actually have one. And that also means I can go and, you know, unequip it, drop it, and then another player can go pick it up, right? So it's redoing the inventory. Including even like the data pad. Like the data pad is the way that we interact with the, like your own little thing, like all your missions. It's like your Moby Glass, you know, type thing, but instead, I wanted to actually make it like a little, you know, actual pad the player has on them. And you can use arrow keys. It's actually not that, you know. Hey, how's it going, Blue? Blue, I want to show you something. I know I had this working in Unity, but I don't know if I showed you this because it's been a while. But oh great, I'm working on economic stuff today. But I want to show you the zone system testing. Let me on pause. Yeah, I've been redoing the economic simulator and making it a lot more performant. Yeah, so all of this has been mined now. Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to get these stations. We want to get the stations here actually spawning food, and then that'll be a dependency. We want to figure out all of our dependency trees that make a station, you know, become a thing. And then I want to do like a logging system so we can kind of figure out like You know, like what have graphs, like dynamic graphs that kind of show like the production. You're working on populating moons. So I'm working on populating the data that drives the economy. So in other words, like when we're running around and we go up to a station, right? And you know, where is that inventory? Like, you know, what makes that inventory? So now we have 1,000 NPCs. Can resources be on planets? A lot of resources will be on planets, right? Everything has a specific economic purpose in Unforgiven space. Like, I'm not taking a Starfield approach, I guess, where it's kind of like, you know, I'm not even using any procedural generation early. I'm going to keep things kind of, you know, vague and handcraft a lot of really good landing zones. But yeah, it's just about putting economic nodes on the planets and getting the trade lanes working, and getting an entire balanced ecosystem. So figuring out, well, what are the actual dependencies, right? Like, you know, like what are we using hydrogen for? Like what is the glue between everything? We can establish that now. We don't need to, you know, like have that created. But I showed you the server meshing stuff. I didn't want to close that out. I want to run the other project. I wanted to show you something blue that you will appreciate. So I did more work on the zone system. It was the last thing I needed on a technical level for the physics zones, and remaking them in Unity or from Unity. Like that was like the last thing. So everything, as you've seen in the demos in the past of Unforgiven Space, like we can all jump in seats, and when you're in seats, you're anchored anyway, which is fine that you know that you're in a seat and things are good. But we wanted to go a bit further with that, and so we're gonna go and I'll show you the zone system. Did you check Verse Project yet? No. What's Verse Project? New space game coming in closed testing called Verse Project. Cool. So check this out. So we have our players. We have in simulation the virtual self. There's a bit. Yeah. So I'm going to. I'll wait for it to come around again. I'll take a look at that in a second. Nope, I broke it. I was told the dude behind it is an SC backer too. Let me take a look at that. Oh, this looks cool. Let me full screen this. Mute my music. I wonder, is it Unreal? Art looks real, but I don't see any gameplay yet. Too good for me. Yeah, loving the suits. Okay, not seeing gameplay. I'm seeing Unreal art. Pilot seat. Art is great though. If they have any gameplay concepts, see a UI. Scanning. Just plan release to be oh, there's an update. Station exteriors. Project website. There's a project demo. Play the demo. Get a sign in, access the demo. Have you played the demo yet, Blue? It's the only way to sign in with Steam. Yeah, I wonder, do they say what game engine they're using for it? Fully generated 1-to-1 scale solar system based on real scientific data. Community-driven game, universe economics, action warfare, global events, corporations, exploration and trading, space battles, resource mining. Unreal. With a Java backend. Cool. And they're looking for... Okay, so it's Unreal. But a music composer. No idea yet. I can't play it. Gotcha. Yeah, it's interesting. Because, like, it's really easy to get a lot of good Unreal assets, but I wonder what they do with it for all the actual code and systems. Some guys have access. I've seen it. Yeah, that's cool. Let me get this working again. I should actually like make it slow down for this. Because there's a bug where the inner zone is yeah, because I can never make it. My PC is not compatible with it, with that game. Like, Cut has access he can show you later. Or check his VOD from like 2 days ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's got a lot of good art, man. Art's the key, right? The costs. Although, you know, making systems is still like super, you know, important. See? So I have the full zone system working now. But well, my mind is not making good systems. You know what I mean? Stuff that'll work in multiplayer. Stuff that'll work like, you know, that'll scale. Stuff that'll like, you know. I want to solve all the problems of the game before like, I don't want to pull a Hellion. You know what I mean? Like Hellion, amazing game, good graphics. You know what I mean? Like great. But then didn't finish itself. Had all these technical stuff. How do you do all this, you know, technical stuff that scales, right? It's barely even works. I'm watching this on tablet. Yeah, thankfully the game won't be like that high of spec. You know, like when we get close to that. So anyway, the point being the zone system works, and it works well. And I will be implementing it into the Unforgiven systems build very soon. But I want to get some of this economic stuff kind of like working. Okay, so oh yeah, right, we're doing food. It's not good. We're getting distracted. Yeah, because I think with a right economy, I think everything could be pretty good. Like things will look, you know, kind of like as if it's functioning like normally. So food. We need a unique GUID. I'm gonna copy all these into the sheet, so we actually start using. Food. So food will be type food, but it's gonna be a blanket economy right now. So food. And food will just be grown, so we just, grown. So we'll need like some type of production. So what I might make is a producer, a generic commodity. Good work, thanks. We'll make a commodity producer, which will be like a commodity generator. And then the commodity producer will connect to a commodity inventory and automatically kind of slowly move the commodity of the commodity inventory along as far as the number of units that are available. But we'll just put a default amount. Station resources, fuel, and ammo, those are like good to be traded. Go. So check this out here on ChatGPT. I've been querying the crap out of this. Right, so we're looking at like just a station, right? Like what defines a station? What's the infrastructure cost of a station? Right, operation and maintenance. So like, energy, like solar panels, nuclear reactor, life support systems. Right, if we set a dependency tree for the stations, for the ships, right? So we have our manufacturing dependencies and we have our operational dependencies. Then we end up with like every single station just dynamically needing to have all these specific levels of inventories. And whenever these inventory levels get like extremely low, then we get automatic contract generation, that's like, especially when it comes to like repair. So we get automatic contracts on repair, and we get automatic contracts on missions, right? Would be a waste if someone stole your area. Exactly. Yeah. So we'll do a. I've just started using like Copilot for concept stuff, kind of like talk to someone. So yeah, like I ran into hey Revere, hey Johnson. Man, it's going good. I started a new job. I think I kind of chatted about that in other people's streams. So it's been a few months now, and so I've been kind of I've been pretty busy just adapting to that. Not necessarily, it's not like I'm spending more time at the new job. It's more so adapting to being in an engineering position and then like getting off work and then getting back in the game dev. So what I've been working on this week is this is our economic system. So we have here, we're just going to fly around here. We have 1,000 NPC ships. So these are our little gas volumes. We have some hydrogen gas. And now, because NPCs, there can only be 1,000 of them. I just paused the simulation. But you see we have all these little gas mining ships. They all have their own inventories. And they are just heading up here and grabbing, just going to get more of them happening. So all these ones that are coming back, they each have, 10 units of hydrogen that's going to be refined. So we come over here to the refinery station that they're going to. We just resume. All right, so right now we have hydrogen gas, and it's being slowly converted with the refinery into hydrogen fuel. Now simultaneously, just for testing, we have our ore, raw ore, and this one's doing our, I made a little system to kind of select the closest thing, but it sometimes is kind of not that close. Right, so we have our ice being converted into water, and we have our ore being converted from raw ore. So these guys are going and grabbing a bunch of the ice, grabbing our asteroids, and then in the simulation, see it, Hanu, right, we have pirates spawning, and pirates are going after other traders. And if they attack and win the roll against another trader, they take the commodity inventory, so it gets transferred to them. And because they pirated someone, security is spawning. Security is going after the NPC. If the security wins, then, a salvage claim is pretty much created. Like, no matter who dies or who wins, there's going to be a wreck. So then the salvage ships grab the wreck and take its inventory and bring it to the nearest station. So the idea is we have inventories in each station, and those inventories will have like dependencies of what station needs, obviously, like being built up. But they'll also have random commodities that are being not randomly generated, but like it's not nothing is chaotic. It's not like full chaotic market. It's stable market, but the things are coming from the influence of these 1,000 ships, right? Because like this station here also needs food, so there'll be ships will be heading down to a farm to kind of meet those dependencies, and then of course if the right, everyone's going to be trying to like head towards that farm to kind of get it, but at least once the the station has a good surplus of it, it can sell it also to other stations. So like you'll see commodities kind of start getting distributed, because of the dependencies, they must be met, the price must be paid, as quick as they can, as far as contracts are concerned. And then you'll start seeing like, well, maybe the traders that were moving that food, well, they got pirated, and now that food's being transferred over to the pirate station. So if you notice, the pirate station has this extremely high surplus of food that's not necessarily intended for itself. It's just a causation, right, of what's being pirated and what they're doing. And the idea is to kind of think about a whole system and just think about the economic requirements and model kind of like the whole game, like even now, like build a model, like what commodities exist, what's the right, like what's the background, like hey, space gauntlet, right? And then everything just runs and it's stable. I can run this all night long. And the idea is when you, the player, are interacting with like that station's inventory, that the game server is communicating with the economy back end, and what you're being received from the economic back end is the data that it's running, right? So the game, like the game server doesn't even need to run this, even though this is only like 4% CPU on one thread, and it's all being rendered with intermediate meshes, but ideally it wouldn't be rendered at all. It'd be fully headless. So that's the idea, right? Is you have all these security guys, and every time like a security personnel loses a battle against like a pirate ship, that pirate ship just kind of like gains more renown. So like from the player facing side, like you go to the security board, or you go to the salvage board, you notice, oh wow, there's all these salvage claims. And what those salvage claims are those dead NPCs. Obviously simulation not running at 1,000,000 FPS. You know what I mean? Like thousands of transactions a second. They're running a lot slower, and they're running at the real scale of the. Kyle can tell you more about the Verse project. Cool, I do actually want to, look into a bit more. But yeah. So that's kind of been the what we're working on now. I want to get all of this done, so that way, I can actually, figure out exactly what commodities I need to make in the game, and try to get all the art finished. Like we just need a very basic initial vertical slice scope for the commodities, just so I can kind of like start playtesting. Because right now I just have a bunch of predefined stuff, and it works. But yeah, let's actually get the economy running and running on the on the server. For now, we'll just have the game server run its own economy simulation, so the game server itself will just run it on behalf of itself for each game server that's running, and then we'll kind of we'll go from there. Yeah, I wish I had a lot more I could show you in the main project, but because like the whole inventory system's being redone and the whole like FPS IK stuff's being done, there's like it's in like a weird like state of like extreme like overhaul for a lot of stuff right now. But I will load the main project. Even the ship, I'm like kind of like redoing the exterior and putting in all the new ramps. So there's a big sprint that I was right in the middle of when I got this new job. Yeah, the real Tony Z. I am really determined to make a very stable economy though, and I think it's going to be good. And I don't think it'll take me too long to finish it. This is just one of the test worlds where we have medical gameplay. Medical gameplay in Unforgiven Space is not too complicated right now. It's just bring the NPC to you. Did you put any 4.0 updates on Galag since the patch? Yeah. So everything, the only thing I need, so what we've added for it is all of the trade ports. So I've finished pretty much, like I've rewritten so much stuff for this. It's crazy. I should go to the dev site. But so all of the pyro stuff is now in for each of the places now that do have. I don't know why some of these are here marked when they're not supposed to. They don't really have anything. Yeah, everything's in. We just need to update it. So what I've done, if you're familiar, Blues, but updating the site, let me log in. I'll show you what I've added. This is great. So it's now like fully changed. So now when you go in now and you update and you report prices, everything is now pre-populated. And with the report, yeah, it's still manual. It's still going to be manual input until I get the scraper working. You know what I mean? But at least now you can report the box sizes as well. And you can also, like anything that's like not here, that's kind of changed to a certain deviation, you can add manually and just set with the... So this was like this before, but I made it a lot simpler. I made it a lot easier to make an audit to the system, or to make a... and I've also just, changed it so we can just kind of... yes, we just changed the prices. That's been changed. Already better system, Linsegs. Yeah, I wish that we need more people actually updating it. That's the issue right now. Is I added the box size limitations last. And because I did so, I now need to go around and like actually grab all the box sizes. Is this Church Alpera? Yeah, so it's all like up to date for 4.0, but it just needs, yeah, see, like, so Dudley and Daughters, someone's already been here and someone's updated it. So now we have all the box sizes. Now I need to wait until somebody has actually done the work of finishing the box size inputs. Like once we have a full box size report, like one report of each station, then I already have a bunch of stuff ready to go live for doing like a volume simulator. So we can simulate, the actual like volumes. Like back in the day, and this is just, I just need data, right? Like I need people to help. But back on the sheet, remember when I was capturing, remember when I was like extracting data? See, one of the things that the game file still has is all the cargo containers. So all the cargo grids themselves and their volumes, I already have ready to go. So what I want to do is, because the algorithm was designed to solve the knapsack equation for a number of max SKU, but it was actually better than that. Like in the very beginning, I figured we were going to have cargo volumes. So I just need to optimize it on making recommendations of not like exactly what to buy, but in what form. So, but having each ship mapped and having each ship's configuration is like the future, right? We need to actually have each of the volumes in, and we need to have each of the quantum drives in, and then we have distance, right? So that's the, and then the other thing is right. So on I haven't pushed. There's an update to this I need to push. Right, so I want to do one of these for Pyro, and the reason why I can't right now is I need the see, look, I have Pyro and they're all stacked on top of each other. I need to get the OM1 in OM2 locations for each of Pyro's celestial objects. And then once I do that, then we'll have all of those mapped, and then all the distance calculations will be back again. So that's kind of what I need to do on the Star Citizen side. I'm not in a rush because people will do it casually, and the Aaron belt is still visualized here. It needs to go away. This belt was generated kind of procedurally in the code. I never actually added the Aaron belt as like a entity, so I need to disable it. But yeah, once I get all of that, then I can make the trading tool do so much more. But I've already rewrote a lot of it. A lot of it's been rewrote over the last month and updated. But yeah, it needs work. I'm gonna put in all the I'm gonna copy all of this. So the SCDB project that I was working on is gonna get scrapped, and then all of this is gonna get moved into into Galog. So like let me ignore all these bugs. Right, so all of the game file mapping stuff. Yeah, so that's my idea, is to kind of merge all this stuff together. So all of the automation of pulling. Now, Scalog's not used a lot because it's not up to date, and there's other sites that like put that competition too. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's when you're making a space game that kind of happens. But at least, like, you know, some of the issues are fixed. Like, some of the issues were reporting wasn't switched over to, right, like things weren't switched over to be in units or in SKU, and now it is, right? And a lot of the you know, like it needed to be updated for all the box sizes, so it's fully up to date to be able to be used. And I think once I start doing some of the stuff I want to do on the 3D side, like I want to do route visualizations and do like commodity heat maps and do just better recommendations. Like if I approach it by just doing totally not what any of the competition is doing, and instead looking at like how to actually optimize trading, you know, and making, you know, like better recommendations based upon different properties and parameters, then I think, you know, like it could use a facelift visually, but systemically it'll still be a faster system. Anyway, but yeah, that's the you know. But as far as I'm aware, a lot of the data is up to date now on Galog, but the box sizes aren't. And the box sizes are like what need to go next. Yeah, we'll make a generic commodity generator. It'll work like a refinery. Refinery preference. Let's move. Yeah, let's move some of this into the economy. So this will be a commodity producer. And then all a commodity producer will need is a reference to another inventory. And it needs to know like what it's producing and at what rate. And we can use a commodity producer as a generic inventory. Yeah, and I don't need to figure out like how we want to determine that. Like how many predict. Actually, let's give the retime. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do an explorer. Private, because yeah, so we'll use a timer, so we can thread them. Yeah, so commodity producer. We'll give it the commodity that it's going to be producing. And we do want to build a bullet, so we'll get set on the commodity. We have our inventory reference. Could be private. I don't know if we'll need to actually access the producer for anything. And then for a timer, I'm going to already have one created. But each of these outposts will have their own so we're going to add a node, and we're going to add our producer. And then we're going to say, link in our inventory. So like the producer is like an independent thing. It just works with a random any assigned commodity inventory. And we're going to say this one's going to be food. And then I'm going to save a producer as a generic. Prefabs. Commodity producer. Throw a timer on it. And in here, we won't have it, but only we'll just reference a timer. And actually, because we're using it, well, actually we won't do an export. We'll just get it. So exposed to a producer will just be, hey, what inventory are we actually going to be filling? And what commodity are we going to be actually generating? And then how many, like, at what rate? What's the production rate going to be? And we'll do like we'll do production rate per second. The number of units per second that it's generating, right? And ideally, the producer will have a dependency. So we simplify it right now. We're like, okay, which by default we're just going to automatically generate X amount. That's it. Like a firm is growing the firm, but that's boring. And ideally, the producer would have an input, and the input would be its own dependencies, right? And then we don't, production doesn't occur unless the dependency trees are met. And as soon as right, and we're just using that inventory reference, so we're just checking. The producer will just check what is our production requirements. It's pretty much the same as same as refinery, like the refinement process, where refinement has these commodities turned into this. It's just that all over again, but just at a smaller scope. But our first generation producers are just going to produce from thin air. They have their own stuff. Wink, wink. And I'm gonna copy the refinery code for a lot of this because it's going to be the same. Well, not all. Yeah, it doesn't need a station, it only needs an inventory. Yeah, say production. Every second, oh, it's gonna be 10 seconds. And then how many units? Production units. So it'll be 1 unit a second of production just for a test. That we can set in the inspector. And that's all it's going to do. Any commodity that we set. Inventory is null, we're not doing anything. Commodity is null, we're not doing anything. I'm only doing 1 commodity right now, but we'll do a production configuration where it's like a list of commodities with their production rate, and they'll just iterate over that list. So we can set, farms that have multiple things at multiple rates. We'll do the commodity game all first. And it'll just go ahead and check the inventory. Let's see if the commodity is there. And if it is, then it's going to go ahead and actually, yeah, no, there's a system that automatically does that in the inventory. You just do inventory, add commodity, just give it the commodity, and the number of units. So it'll just do it. Production units. And yeah, per seconds, one of these things. This can be pretty simple. So we're just going to go and add to the inventory. That's all the producer is going to do. And then we'll just add a producer and tie it in. So if we go to a planet, and we'll just pick the one that's close to the horizon line. And we're just going to say for all of them, we're going to produce food. So now every one of these little farms, these outposts, should be generating food per tick. Okay, got an inventory. Is it setting the inventory dynamically? Yep. Doesn't like the fact that I can't click on it. Because the hover UI is not finding an inventory. Right, update it for you based on a node. Get null node inventory, commodity inventory. It should have one. If it is one, it should clear it and show us what's there. Over panel UI. Yeah, the inspected node should be like finds the inventory for all of these. And for the refinery. The outpost should very much be the same. Maybe someone's selecting. Maybe the outpost doesn't have a select method or something to pull its inventory. Right? Gas volume has a selector. If the parent is an I selectable. Yeah, that looks totally normal. Although it doesn't have an inventory. Oh, it has an inventory that happens to be null. It has a commodity without a number of units. Oh, I need to actually clear that. Hey, Dovikin. Yeah, so I gotta deal with that edge case of it being empty or it having commodities that either have no units. Yeah, producers probably just need to reset the inventory by default. So this should be generating food, which it is. So we should be doing 1 a second. So the tick is every 10 seconds, and yeah, so we 10 units a second. So the farm is growing food. And they should all be growing food, but I don't have them selectable. I only have the mouse cursor right now along the horizon line. So food is happening. So we can set up a dependency for food. Yeah, now that I know the auto alignment of this works. So we'll get food there. Oxygen. Yeah, so what's our process? Space beam with rating stations, best economic, for producing oxygen. Because we'd probably extract it, right? Or we'd convert it from because now we can extract it from water, right? Right? Because if we do ice, and then ice goes into water, and then through water, we can extract our oxygen. Right? Or we do, yeah, you can use filters. Yeah, and transporting it. Yeah, so we could do liquid oxygen. So it had to be like a liquid tank, but it would have to have some type of system on it for keeping it cold. Yeah, so optimal. Yeah, so we need to have cryogenic tanks, specially designed for cryogenic tanks, maintaining low temperatures from tank. Features thermal insulation. Yeah, I like the idea of using the liquid oxygen as a movement. Ugh. Alright, so it'll be either compressed form or LOX form. This conversion will be pretty straightforward. And one more question. Yeah, so technically we really only need water to supply life support systems. That's cool. Alright guys, in like a couple of minutes I'm gonna get ready and raid someone. Take a break. I'm so glad I got all the bugs like fixed with this though. It was deadlocking and it sucked. I want to make the selector work a bit more stable. And I think this week I want to get contracts working. Yep. Alright, I'm going to end it here on YouTube, and I'm going to go find someone to raid.